Hey everybody, hope you all had a good weekend. Hopefully you got to watch the Super Bowl if you all like football. So not a whole lot happened in the charts. We're just kind of basing sideways. I think pretty close to the bottom if we're not already at the bottom on the altcoins. So just remember there was a whole bunch of hype around crypto, and rightfully so. Every time that retail investors start to get highly involved in crypto in some way, they're pretty much buying some sort of top, or something bad is going to happen. Is basically price might go up a little bit, but then they don't just get a free ride, right? Crypto's very volatile, and weak hands leave the market all the time, right? So you got strong hands, you got weak hands. The people that stay through the volatility, like if we look back through crypto, its entire cycle, if you bought the bottom at 3,000, it went up to 14,000 and then went all the way back down to 3,000. So imagine your emotions. You made that much money, and then you pretty much were down that amount, and plus you were buying right here, so you were down on your money, and then you start to go up there, right? If you're a retail investor, you're buying all the way up, okay? So you're probably putting in more and more money up here, and then you're eventually going to be really down on your money. So pretty much, and same situation over here, right? If you started buying Bitcoin over here, you're continuing to buy all the way up here, down here, up here, and then now you're really down on your money. Okay, unless you have millions of dollars to put in, or hundreds of thousands of dollars to put in right here at the bottom, and you just hold it and you just decide not to buy anymore, that's the only way you're not really going to be down on your money. So everybody's going to be a little bit down at some points in time when you're new, right? A lot of the people in this group were probably still up, I would imagine, on XLM, XRP, the ones that broke out. But for example, ICP, and we'll go over that here in a second. I was buying ICP. I think $11 was the last highest price that I've paid for it recently. But I'm probably down on my ICP, and that's okay for right now, because I think it's going to go significantly higher. And we'll take a look at that here in just a minute. So there's a couple things you don't really want to see on BTC and what it's done. Okay, so you do have a confirmed cross down on the MACD. This is the first signal. This is a weekly. This is the first signal that this is a bad thing, right? Doesn't mean it's the end of the world, right? You've had over here, you had some crosses down before continuing to move up a little bit later. You can tell by those red bars, if you can see them. It was just 2 weeks that it crossed down. And I think over here you had a cross as well, just one cross. Okay, you just don't want to be seeing multiple crosses, right? Same situation is pretty much happening here. We are respecting this trend line. If you look, price has moved up. You've got a wick there. So we are still continuing to respect this trend line. What I'm really hoping we end up doing is breaking to the upside of this little formation that we're in, because this pattern is not a good pattern, right? This is a bearish pattern. Okay, if we can get outside of it and go up. And you can even look, some other charts show that we are broken out of this pattern. And let's see if I can find that real quick. Let's get rid of this. This one doesn't show. Let me see if there's another one. I think there's another chart, because the chart that I look at on my phone shows that we are actually broken out of this pattern to a degree. No, not that one either. No, not that one either. Well, so the majority, we're still up here. Okay, we need to get out of this pattern if we're not going to have that formation that have drawn on for a while. And hopefully the alts will run before this, if this breaks down. Okay. Let's look at the 3-day. See if there's anything showing up that's positive. You do have some bullish divergence here showing up. Okay, so indicators going down, prices going up, so that's a good sign. And then there's no divergence on. There's some hidden bullish divergence here, so it does look like we'll probably end up going up. I would say in the short term, we need to get past about 108, 110,000 closed candles outside of here to continue to go up. But this trend line is still looking pretty good. But once we break this, it could be a little bit of a problem. Okay, so we've got till the end of February, right, before we need to make a decision here. Okay, the next trend line is around 70,000. So that's probably where we would fall, somewhere within this level of support and then this trend line. Most likely not breaking this trend line, having a pretty good bounce from there if that happens, right? So that's kind of where I'm at on BTC. Okay, so let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. That actually looks pretty good. At least it did for the week here. Okay, let's look at the weekly. So you do have a bearish candle here. This is a hammer candle. Now you need the next candle to be some kind of a bearish candle. So what I would hope to see is like a bearish engulfing candle for confirmation. So something like this. So for example, you had a bearish engulfing candle and then price continued. It popped up a little bit, but it continued to go down. Okay, even over here you had like a bearish candle and then you had a big sell-off candle, and then the next one was a bullish engulfing candle which pushed the price down. Now candles aren't always 100%, but whenever you see a major sell-off like that, that's really a really good sign for price action to go down. This still looks bullish though, and then this right here looks bullish as well. It does have some bearish divergence, so like a trend line up here, right? So this indicator is going down, and then price is going up. So if you draw a trend line from way over here, right, price is going up. So that's extreme bearish divergence. So maybe we tag this somehow over the next couple weeks and then fall. I don't really think that would be broken. But we really don't want to. We want to see some kind of bearish candle here. And let's look at the daily. It's also touched this zone up here, which is a major sell-off zone. So we had that over here too. We sold off a little bit, even though we came up a little bit, right? We had some divergence. So divergence, sometimes you'll see like a chart that looks really bearish, and then you don't see any divergence yet, and the price continues to go up a little bit, and then divergence, and that's whenever you start wanting to put more money in the market. Okay, you don't always see divergence, but divergence is further confirmation of a trend reversal. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You've also got, the stochastic curving down on the 1 day, and then the 3 days overbought as well. So hopefully we do turn around here. Okay, let's look at the total let's actually look at the others market cap. So this is the total market cap, excluding the top 10. So this takes out Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the major ones. Let's actually look at, I don't really like that one. Let's look at the total 2 shows, I always use the total 2, but I see other people use I see other people use the others, but I don't like it as much. Okay. So good sign. Tested the trend line. You've got a massive wick here, telling you that there's a whole bunch of buying pressure here. Okay. Along this line. So it tested this whole level of support, right? And it's been bought up. Very, very good sign for altcoins. This still doesn't look very good, but this could change, so I'm just gonna have to wait. Let's see if the 2 week looks okay. This hasn't closed yet, but yeah, the 2 week, probably, I would highly doubt that this would pass through here, so we're probably gonna hit support and then start to bounce from there by the next week's close, and then close somewhere above this major trend line. Okay, and the monthly, we can take a look at that. It closes in quite a while, but you've also, you've came back down to test this trend line, test this level of support right here, and then hopefully by the end of the month this is either green or some kind of bullish candle. You still have like 20 days for that though. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's get to ICP. There was a question asked in the group about ICP, and I'm going to look at that real quick. Let's see what it says. What do you think the probability is at the moment that ICP goes lower to complete the ABC correction you were talking about? So based on the Bitcoin dominance, based on the total 2 market cap, I'd probably give it like 20% to break any lower than where we're at, to do some sort of longer ABC correction. Like, I think it's unlikely. I mean, especially that we've had this. I mean, this wick is very big. So, like, for example, you have you have a big wick right here on the bottom, and price went up quite a bit from there. This is a larger wick, okay? Plus you're in this bullish channel, so could we come up, retest the 8 something, and come back down and fall from there? That's a potential as well, but I think it's less likely, a lot less likely. Let's take this off here. Okay, so let's look at the daily. So the daily has entered this area. I mean, this is always pretty much the best area to be buying, right? This is the most oversold territory you can be in. Sometimes it touches it multiple times, but whenever you look at other altcoins, when that reaches that area, that's pretty much a buy zone. There are times where it goes a little bit lower, like you might have some kind of divergence or whatever, but I'm a buyer. If it's in this area, I'm a buyer. Especially in a bull market because it's oversold. You do have a cross on the daily coming back up, so momentum's starting to reach back into the market, and then as well as the 3 days in the oversold area. So yes, I mean it could break down, right, but it could turn up. If you wanted to wait to like buy in a safer area, you'd wait until we broke to the north side of this pattern here. Okay, so you'd be paying probably around $10 for it or something like that. Not a breakthrough, but a close outside of it, like probably 2 daily closes. But guys, anything can happen in crypto. I mean, you've got like anything can happen tomorrow. But the lowest that this would go would be down here. If you get a flash crash, like for example the last bull market, I think ADA did some sort of a flash crash for its next wave. Let me actually pull that up here. I'll show this to you. So like this last cycle in 2020, you had, let's do a weekly. Let's get rid of this for a second. So you had looked like a first wave, right? So you can even count wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you had COVID, right? And it broke through this first one. So technically you'd start your wave count here again, right? But some of the altcoins, if Bitcoin's just going crazy down, like the altcoins they're just gonna forcefully be pushed down by BTC. So there's actually a couple ways to count this, right? So you could have still had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, or you can count this as starting here, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. But anyway, whenever you pass through that level, that was like the best buy opportunity. Even though everybody thought it was going to zero, people were buying here. Crypto is becoming some of the most adopted stuff in the world, most talked about stuff in the world. Like everybody is getting into crypto. So if that was to happen, I mean, that's a really good buy opportunity. Speaking of ADA, while we're on here, so I think I drew this out. This could be what we experience with ADA here, and then having some kind of, that would be the top of wave 3, and then you'd have some kind of long-term correction, and then a move up. Probably like 3 months or something like that. Since this correction was pretty long, I would expect this one to be less time, so it would be faster. You just have a really fast drop. Weekly probably looks the same. So everything is pretty much crossing on the weekly. It needs to cross back up. And then I'll look at Rose Oasis after at the end of this video. Oh, so I'm going to go back to ICP real quick. And this kind of applies to all of the tokens that we're looking at right now. So if we go to like a 4-hour chart, this could be, again, this is lower time frame, but you could have, which is less reliable. Right, so if we start to round here, and it looks like we are, right, and we break past this level, you could have your Adam and Eve bottom here. However, we still need to get back out of this trend line. Okay, now this is something that we could see. If we don't get out of this trend line, you could see another low, or this can break down from where it's at now, right? But the way things are looking, it looks pretty good to continue to go up here. Some of those short-term patterns play out. Again, if BTC breaks down, everything's going to break down. But you can look at that on ICP and probably a lot of these altcoins. LTC actually looks really, really good. So if you look at the weekly on LTC, this wick that you see here is probably one of the strongest. Like if you look over here, that's a pretty big wick, but this is a monster wick. Okay, it just means there's a whole bunch of buy pressure. You also see that right here on the bottom. So a lot of the times you see some kind of bullish, and this is like a hammer candle. Okay, a hammer candle is a very good sign for a reversal. Okay, plus you went through all of this support here. So hopefully this actually starts to run up. But that is a very, very good sign. Weekly actually hasn't crossed down, which is surprising. Everything else did. We can take a look at BCH too, because they kind of run in tandem together. And BCH doesn't look as good. If this turns around here, I guess you could still have a right shoulder. It's just an ugly one. So I would have expected that would have been probably the best time to be buying this one. But let's see how this next week plays out. I mean, you still do have a pretty strong wick here, so a lot of buyers came in to step in and buy that. And it's probably been oversold. Yeah, you're in this area over here. Alright, let's look at, I guess we could look at XRP and those guys and see what they're doing. XRP, USD, probably doesn't look much different. And you've got bullish divergence here coming in on a daily, so retested that trend line. You've got a huge wick here, so hopefully this turns around. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, I mean, strong wick there. But again, this isn't something that I would be buying. Because I'd rather be buying ICP just because it's lower. Now this could go to the moon, right? It's just not something I would be buying as a trader just because this thing has gone up quite a bit. 600%, 400% from where it was in just this short time. Hopefully this does run next, but I mean, it could consolidate a lot longer. I was comparing it to this over here in time, but it's not playing out exactly the same. Okay, but you could have just a longer consolidation period where we're at now compared to over here, and then move up, probably into one of these boxes here, and then consolidate sideways and down for 3 months or so, and then have one more push to the upside and then a major correction. Bear market maybe last 7 years. It could do this whole entire cycle. We'll have to really look and see how it compares to this one. If it's very similar, then you're probably going to do a very long term correction. So the next cycle I might not buy any, or if I do, I'd buy somewhere down here and then take half out or whatever and just ride out the next cycle. But not sure about that just yet. XLM, yeah, let's see if we break out of this. you've got a potential for bullish divergence on the 3-day, and it's almost oversold. It hasn't been oversold yet, but it's getting close. So you could come back down to 25 cents or so on this one. SUI. So I posted something about SUI coming down to this box down here, and just like ICP, and this wick right here could have been the retest of this over here, and then you start to go up. Okay, we got out of this one at 4 right up here. I figured there was going to be a correction. I thought it could have actually topped right there because I could kind of tell the momentum was dying a little bit, and plus there was a little bit of hype around SUI. So I sold right there. It did come to tag our box here, and I drew in this box a while back. Normally, a lot of the times you don't only just, when you do like a 4 correction, you normally come back down to test a support a lot stronger than just tagging the very top of this. Okay, but I suppose that could be their correction for SUI, but it's also doing that kind of Adam and Eve bottom here. Okay, so this price could be pretty much where it is the best time to be buying this again. The one thing that I thought that it might come back down is because it hasn't gone through this dark area yet. Doesn't have to, but either way, I'd still rather buy ICP than SUI. Just because I think it's going to stay within this pattern. I could be wrong, right? But I mean, it could just go to the moon. But and that just doesn't bring the price up very much. Like ICP has a lot more to go up than this based on that. Okay. So I think that is HBAR. I'm going to look at that one. Man. Well, that pattern doesn't look fancy anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully we just bounce from where we're at. Right here. I mean, I guess you could consider that a retest, but it looks kind of ugly. So let's see if we turn back around. I mean, if this was to break down, it's already tested this level of support. I mean, I suppose you could come back down here, but that would be a really good buy opportunity. But you know, this thing can turn back around from where it's at. I just don't like how it kind of has been closing within this pattern. But you know, that is somewhat short term. You know, it's not a weekly chart. Weekly doesn't look. It's not really a big pattern on a weekly chart, right? actually. No, let's just see what happens here. You've tested your next level of support, so we should really, if we should bounce from here. You've got a lot of buy pressure. If we're not going to bounce from there, it's about 12 cents is the next level. But I would expect a lot of buyers to come in at that point. Okay, so what's the next thing that we can look at? Okay, I guess I'm just going to look at rows now. You said, I think, Binance. Let me see. What was the one that you're talking about? Tether Binance, rows, USD Tether. Let me see. I really needed more of a chart. Is Rose still... I haven't looked at Rose. I think I still own some from a long time ago. It's sitting in a wallet. It's not a whole lot. Rose. Oasis. They're still active on Twitter. I just haven't seen anything about them in a long time. Which is a good sign, right? They're still around. Let me look at another chart real quick. That's not a good one. Man, I swear this thing was around a lot sooner than a lot. Well, maybe not. I mean, if this is going to do good, guys, it's going to bounce from where we're at. Like, I don't think if it closes down here, it's a really, really bad sign. So if you have been following the project, you want to buy this one, that would be the time to be purchasing this, because it did go up about half the size here, and I'd say that was its first wave. So if you can count the small waves here, and you've got your bottom right here for the bear market bottom, you've got your first wave. 2 didn't pass 1, right? So, and then 3 was more impulsive than this one over here. 4 and then 5. Now you have your ABC correction. So you'd start here, right? A down, B up. A lot of people think it's going to return here, right? And then it turns back around. Doesn't pass the start of this move here. Okay, and then now you should start seeing a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 3, and then you'd see another correction. Maybe a sideways one or something like that, since this one was this pattern, right? So you'd probably see something a little different. And then you'd see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 5th wave. and this back to its old high is like 1,300%. So I would risk putting some money in here. And that's probably a fib level. Yeah, so I've drawn that before. When did I cover this? I don't know when I covered this, but that's drawn in there. I don't know why this green line's there. Okay, well, that should cover it. So, if you close back below this level here, really not a good sign. But it looks pretty decent. GALA looks pretty good too. I'm going to go ahead and cover that one. Doing all kinds of charts today. I had a box drawn in here. Where is that? Bit stamp maybe? Anyway, the second box is right where we're at. So just buying again down here, right? You had a whole bunch of growing volume here. So I don't think this is going to go away. I think this is going to start running out. And that's probably the best price that you're going to get this. Okay, guys. Y'all have a good week. I'll talk to you on Wednesday. If you have any questions you want me to go over, I'll be happy to do that. And then hopefully this week is green finally. That would be nice. So, y'all have a good week, and I'll talk to y'all then.